Hey everyone, it is Shell being in action. Thanks for tuning in today. This is video number 5 of the Ganglion Cyst post-surgery op whatever video series. Now, I usually will do a tea time in these series. We're going to jump right into a tea time right off the bat. But I would like to give a disclaimer, as I always do. I am not a doctor. I am not stating to be a doctor. I'm not giving professional medical advice. I am, however, an herbalist. I am an herbalist and I have a bachelor's of science in herbalism. I am merely using my knowledge on myself. I'm not treating anyone else. I am simply stating what is being done on myself. And I have stated that through this whole series. I am putting this information out there as information. Now, today we're making a custom blend for our tea time. Today we are doing a combination of a variety. So go gather your mug, get some tea ready for your tea time, and let's begin. My first herb today on the list is rose. We've got the rose petal versus the rose hip. I've chosen this herb for its astringency. I have also chosen Crataegus monogyna, or you could always go with just the Crataegus species. This is your hawthorn berry. I've actually used the leaf and the flower though, not the berry. Next up, we have my own wild crafted Urtica dioicea, which is stinging nettle. That is the wild one, of course. We've got Cinnamon verum, which is cinnamon bark. It has not been ground to a powder. My own homegrown, which I just finished off, so this jar is empty, but my own homegrown Scutellaria latiiflora, which is skullcap. I've chosen that for its anxiolytic properties as well as its digestive bitters. Now, I didn't mention, I forgot to say, I chose the stinging nettle for its high mineral component. I'm doing that for the surgery that I've had to remineralize my blood, my muscles, my bones. The licorice I've chosen for a immune strengthening, kind of activating, as well as some digestion help. And then the St. John's wort we've got as the Hypericum perforatum. We have that in here as a nerve calmer. You'll notice now I've mentioned nerves a few times, so we'll be getting to that. Also, St. John's wort is a nice antiviral, good for anti-depression too. So also chosen it for that reason. We have Withania somnifera, which is ashwagandha, and that is chosen for its adaptogenic properties. Ashwagandha actually will regulate the amount of cortisol that your body produces. Cortisol is a stress hormone, and it particularly hangs out here. If you were to dissect a body that underwent a ton of stress, even upon their passing, they will still have the cortisol sitting on their gut. So if you can control how much cortisol, which again is your stress hormone, if you can control how much of that you make, you in turn will have less stress, as they say. So I've got my tea already brewed with all of those mentioned herbs. Again, get yours ready. I've been brewing mine for the 15 plus minutes. I've mentioned a few times in this series the reason for that is when you brew a tea for long enough, 15 plus minutes, you then can start to extract out the medicinal properties of that tea. And it's also best if you can keep a cover over it so that the volatile oils that may be present can stay trapped within that vessel so that you can distribute it a little bit better throughout your tea. We're going to jump in here. And we do this tea time together because it's a pause. It's a pause from the day to not just drink something warm, but again, you're going into this with intention. So I've brewed this tea not just for flavor, although that's a factor that goes into it. Knowing what the herbs taste like helps you piece them together in a more palatable way. If you are going for just strictly medicinal, I, as a novice herbalist early on in my training, used to do that, may end up with something that tastes just very, very, very unpalatable, we'll say. So, sip on your tea, shall we? It's delightful. It's like a cozy, cinnamony, floral from the notes of the rose and the hypericum, the St. John's wort. Also the hawthorn flower and leaf. It's very nice, floral, earthy, cinnamony hug. So it was important for me to start out with tea time because I don't have the best of an update. Surgery was 1 month ago today. I thought by this point I would be a little bit further along, as did the doctor, for how well I had been doing in the beginning. But for some reason, my body has halted the healing in some ways. In other ways, I'm healing, but as far as the physical wound sealing up, the top half is still unsealed. It's been 1 full month since surgery, and I still haven't formed a scab. So I listened to doctor's orders and I did keep it dry. I stopped using the topical salves as told to do, and it still wasn't fully closing up. So for a few days, I tried out, after going 4 days with nothing applied topically, a diluted with a frankincense hydrosol comfrey tincture that I diluted because I was not certain if that alcohol would sting super bad. There was no stinging whatsoever, which is great because that's another inkling that there is no infection, which they've mentioned, that they being the surgeon, that it appears to have no infection. But where I'm hindered is it still is not fully sealed up. And the tincture, it did help the top and the bottom of the section that's unsealed, and I'll just unwrap it now because I'll be showing in this video what it looks like. But I can't walk. It's been 1 month today since I have walked, and that is mentally defeating in a lot of ways. But at the same time, today is the first day that I can say I'm starting to feel like I'm getting my life back. I am definitely tired, and I can't get a schedule for the life of me right now. I basically will sleep like a few hours one night, and the next day I might be lucky to get in about 5, but then one day I'm lucky enough to get in 11, or what's happened one day is 12. So I've gotten now 4 good days, meaning 8 or more hours of healing sleep in the last month. If there was more, I know I would be feeling better. But the sleep, it's from stress, it's from the pain, it's from me feeling the actual wound healing back together. From about midnight to 2 a.m., if I'm not asleep by that time, I can, at that stage in the night, feel my wound starting to heal itself. And where they repaired my ligaments and cut out the ganglion cyst, I can really, really feel what they did. And it's just inflamed, and I've been trying to fall asleep by that hour, but it's been very rare, and then that pain keeps me up. I have kind of slipped up with keeping my journal, so I need to go back to confirm fully, but I know I'm at least 8 or more days now without a pain pill. I have totally naturally managed the pain, and truth be told, the bulk of it is being managed by my mind. You can convince yourself that you are in less pain than you are. But I forewarn you, that is along the lines of mental exhaustion. I have gotten myself tired just from fighting through the pain with my own mind. But this is my time to sit here and heal. So no major updates yet. I don't see the doc again for another week and a half. But again, surgery's been 1 month ago today. So the ganglion cyst that they cut out was so large that the pictures, when I look back on it, it looked like I had a golf ball in my ankle, like up against the ankle. And although I can't use the muscles whatsoever, I am feeling less pain even since they've just taken out that cyst. So it must have been a lot of nerves that it was wrapped in, like they were saying. The muscles on my calf from my knee down are beginning to atrophy because it's been so long now since I've used them. But the good news is there is less and less nerve pain in the top of my foot, because the bulk of the pain, you know, that itching pain that you get when a wound is healing, I haven't had that over the wound. I've had that itching pain on the top of my foot in an area that wasn't cut into. And I've been told that that was nerve pain. That may go away when the healing is done. However, healing's not done. The pain's still been there, but it is dwindling. I'm getting more movement with my toes. I'll show you on camera. We can now start to wiggle them. And how I've gotten there is applying light pressure on the top of my foot as well as the arch of my foot, and with each toe just kind of rubbing each one, squeezing little bits, and then applying the foot on the ground but not actually any pressure, and then just getting that natural standing angle back. Now I did that today. I did go to the grocery store. How funny of me. It's been over a month. I did go to the laundry room today on crutches, and I put some pressure on the foot, but because of it still being unsealed, meaning like not scabbed over on part, it did not feel right. It hurts, and I'm going to trust my body. So I'm not going to be putting more pressure on it. I'm just now starting to do little movements. It seems like overall I actually might be a week or so behind the initial 6-week schedule for this healing. I'm keeping up with all of the same herbs. I'm just taking them less periodically, trying to give my body a chance on its own to do its own healing, using the herbs as a tool to help me get there faster rather than the ultimate go-to. So Sip on your tea. Think of what is something you're going through that you can incorporate herbalism into. So I do have a peroneal tendonitis. Once all of this is healed, I had to do that. Once all of this is healed, I'll be using a fascia scraper to rub along the sides of my foot, my tendons, my ligaments, and work all of those up. I've got bands to be stretching the foot with. We're not there with the strength. I've jabbed for long enough. I've been making these videos too long. I get it. Thanks for being my follower and liking and subscribing. I'm going to show you my wound now and show you my little toe wiggles to show you that there is hope. But I thank you for watching this. I humbly share a little bit of herbalism to, again, inspire. It's not going to be the exact same circumstance that you go through that I will, but I want you to see how someone that is struggling to walk, stand, hasn't walked in a month, is still sitting here with her apothecary. Again, if you set yourself up in a certain way, you can do this too. So with the power of the herbs on my side, I am getting back to my strong mindset. I have fought off the cold. I didn't end up actually getting it. I've just been congested, but we've warded it away. And here we are. Let's show you what 1 month in looks like. Okay, so you can still see darn near every stitch mark from the surgery. And I'm quite dry because I've been told to stop applying moisture, which I've done for only 1 day, and it was a mistake because look at that little chunk of a scab came off, and I never have formed the scab yet. So we've still got bruising around it. What we had going on, oh, there it's kicking up. I have these 3 tendons, or maybe they're ligaments. I need to review my anatomy, but I have these 3 here that are pulling on my toes, my phalanges, and it's a quite intense pull. So what I've been doing is, and it hurts to even push it, but gently just rubbing and stretching the toes and then pushing on the bottom like this. But we now have this movement, which was never there the last video. And I can go up now, go down. I can't grip really with the others, but this is just a huge improvement. So now, truly, main focus again is gonna still be healing this. We need to get it to form a scab. So I have been applying only around it now, a salve for healing, as well as an aloe vera, and keeping it minimal on top of it, not even doing my antibacterial or my frankincense hydrosols anymore, because that's just another moisture. So at this point, until it's scabbed, I'm only using a comfrey tincture moving forward, because that has a alcohol, which is drying versus moistening and healing. Now, a disclaimer, and whoops, a disclaimer. Comfrey, I want you to understand this. Comfrey will heal your skin from the top down. Calendula officinalis, and Comfrey is Symphytum officinale, will heal the skin the opposite direction. Calendula is healing your skin from the bottom layer up. You would want that for a deep wound. Now, I've already had a wound for a month, so I've gotten past my calendula stage. Now I'm ready for comfrey, which heals from the top down. Why we couldn't do this before is because there could have been the infection, which I don't have. I knew I didn't, but we wanted to be safe and let the bottom layers heal first so that an abscess doesn't form. That is important to know about Symphytum officinale. Thank you for tuning in. Like, subscribe, follow, share with your friends. Have a blessed day. Light and love.